we were all bopping our head.
Oh, yeah, I was
That's
bopping.
awesome.
Oh, you could see it was bopping, and yeah, it was cool. Hi.
Good time.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
It's
So
fantastic.
so Andrea said she was so mad at Jake for skipping last week that she's skipping this week in protest.
Yeah.
And she
Unfortunate.
said, and you can tell that bastard I said so. And I was
No.
like, okay, those are her words.
Oh yeah,
Just
she
kidding.
was stalking around outside my house. I had to duck, pretend like nobody was home.
No, come on.
Hey, this is a laid back show. Sometimes we'll be here, sometimes we won't, sometimes we'll pre-record.
Yeah, laid back,
Sorry.
hanging out, whatever.
And when
Good
we
evening.
have guests, they'll be like, wow, you guys are so laid back. What gives? What were you saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nothing.
Cedar seeds.
See, laid back. How laid back is that?
Really
Jeez.
laid back.
You know, I like
Really
to think that
laid
we've got
back.
our mind on our money and our money on our mind.
Yeah,
Exactly.
laid back. Looking at my color. How does the mic sound, guys? Am I as low as last week?
Yeah, give us a thumbs up if the mics are okay, guys.
Yeah, I was worried. All right, well, it's good to see everybody in my chat. We could say hi to our chats. Jean's moderating. Thank you. Kim's moderating. I'm just saying hi to everybody. David and Kristen, I'm really happy that you're all here because we're gonna get jiggy with it. There, I'm showing my age.
Oh yeah, we've got stuff to talk about. We actually have like actual stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
And I how do you like how I was like, yeah, we can talk about that. Do you want to take the lead?
It's all right. You can
I'm
be
telling
the
you,
lead.
I'm aggressively minimalist.
Aggressively minimalist. I
I'm
kind of
very-
like that.
Yeah,
kinda
so
like
I'm
that.
very, very over the top about nothing. I go big in terms of leave me out of it. Anyway.
All right. Well, what do we want to break the ice with, Jake? You got something you want to break the ice with?
I'm interested. It sounds like you got some stuff on your mind. I'd like to hear it.
Jake, did you see the controversy from last week?
The controversy from last week? No.
Where people were making comments to the leftist mafia that, do we even need to watch this? I already saw Left Past 10. Did you see that?
An actual cloud said that.
Yeah. Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
It's manufactured, I think. I don't think they really meant it, but
It
I
was
thought it was funny.
cute.
Yeah.
It
I
was
would love it
cute.
if we showed up as a guest on their stream, like collectively we do, but they just like pretend to check in on what we're doing and we do a parody of whatever it is we do. Like it's just us talking about them.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
Yeah, right?
Look at that.
Hey,
Boom.
Bob Carmody joined.
Oh,
there's
thank
a
you.
right
lot of
on.
people
Life.
coming. Lots of people coming.
We
Well,
got celebrities here, don't we? That's big.
hey,
Bob
Bob.
Carmody is the
David's
head
moderator.
mod in charge. Yeah.
Over
David
at
Feldman.
David.
Love it.
Yeah. Yep. I see Bob in different places, you know, without ever having to leave my house.
Okay. What do we got? Oh yeah, what do we got, Sandy?
All right.
Lead us
Well, you
off.
have a little clip that I played that I did on my show the other day, and it kind of what we're going to do is talk about homelessness, North America. It's not just United States, homelessness, and we're going to talk about apocalypse zombies. We're going to talk about that term, and we're going to tell you why we're talking about that term and who is the one that is propagating that term, along with the cult that we are in. Okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah, quote
Yes.
unquote.
We're in a cult, the left cult, not my cult that everybody
Right.
likes to joke about. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, those things. How do you want to do it? You want to play the clip first?
Sure. Yeah.
If we play the clip first, it gives us a jumping off point.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
I guess
Here we
I'm in
go.
charge. I'm in charge, guys.
Oh.
Designs, they're all fairly small, tiny homes, but they have everything in them. Full kitchen, full bathroom, dining, living area kind of thing.
LeBrun is also a multimillionaire, having sold his social media monitoring company to a U.S. computing giant. LeBrun now pours his time and money into a project to house the homeless.
What we're doing here isn't just building a little community, but we're building community in our city. Like, how do we help our city be better?
At the core of LeBrun's strategy is a community of tiny homes on a strip of unused land sandwiched between a mall and a local First Nation. There are plans for 99 such homes.
She
74
kicked me out, didn't know where I was going.
Susan isn't an addict. She doesn't have severe mental health issues. But suddenly alone and homeless, she had nowhere else to turn. Room to breathe and not worry. It's all Susan and her neighbors are looking for. Randy Birch lived in his car for a year before he got on the list for a home at 12 Neighbors. Now he works as a landscaper for the community.
You only get overwhelmed when you look at the big picture, at the numbers. So we're going to really work hard to hone in this model to show that not just housing, but housing, affordable housing, plus a managed community, plus developmental support. Poverty is super complex, but I think actually the solutions get a little simple once you start looking at it and realizing that it's actually not that hard.
First there's housing, but then there's a community, right? So I have a community of friends who some I call family, right? I have a job because of 12 Neighbors, right? And there's other opportunities.
LeBrun is putting his money where his mouth is. He and his wife have already shelled out $4 million of their own money on the project. The goal? To make this a self-sustaining community.
All right.
So, who were they for?
Okay. So they're in Canada. And this guy, the whole point, it may not even be just homelessness. It is that this guy is a multimillionaire. And of course, my radical thinking is these multimillionaires, there shouldn't even be a billionaire class, in my opinion.
Agreed.
There shouldn't even
True.
be, okay? So here's this multimillionaire using his money, used $4 million so far. He's directing the project. And I started thinking to myself, in the United States, they do nothing but cut taxes for these billionaires. I would like to see something completely different. I would like to see that millionaires and billionaires, if you pass a threshold of how much money that you have, okay, that you have to do almost like community service, that you have to do something like what this guy's doing, hand on though, not through some charity that takes a ridiculously high administrative cost. Could that ever flow?
Why? I was with you till the end. I think it's if we're talking seriously,
Yeah.
it's a odd requirement to say that this person's time must be spent involved in this project. For that matter, I mean, I would just say a tax to fund the project. But the core concept, I love the modular homes.
Take the money.
Yeah.
I was just radical. I'm thinking
No,
more
but that's
of like
that's the thing is take like they. it
But
might be
I
the
mean,
opposite.
it's getting caught up in a irrelevant tangent at the end. I think
Okay.
the core concept, if you make it to whatever, like I love the core concept. If you make it to this level of wealth, you are required to start funding this project at a certain amount. I love that.
Do you think?
but so not the community service.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me
General
just play-
community service, sure.
Hold on.
Sure.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Would it be a deterrent for them to even reach that level of success, financial success? Like,
No.
oh man, if I make another million, I'm gonna have to do community service.
They would
Then
be
we
that
wouldn't have
selfish.
billionaires, but then we couldn't tax them, and I don't know. Yeah, okay, I see.
Just
I
it
do
was
s-
just
oh,
a
go ahead.
flow of thought. Go ahead, Jake.
No. I will say this. That general concept of requiring community service for things, even if it's general community service, I do like. I just the specifics of it. I think we shouldn't nail down. But I have a similar thought with if you are going to be, say, a representative for a district, you have to traverse that district. Like we should put in a rule that says you have to traverse that district at least once every 6 months using nothing but public transportation. I think this is the same concept, but
Right.
general business. If you've acquired through general business in whatever country
Mhm.
$100 million, like, okay, well, you also need, if you're going to make more, to demonstrate that you are actually providing value to the community. Something along those lines would be fascinating.
Well, something's got to change.
I agree.
Somehow.
I like your idea.
There was in Colorado when marijuana became legal, they said that the taxes would go into what they called open funds, which were
Right.
generally reserved for education, like as a priority,
Yes.
but not mandatory. So I was like, well, can't we just make it, because that was the selling point. They were
Mhm.
like, oh, well, education could benefit. And I'm like, it could? Just make it benefit. So I see putting some regulations and restrictions in place for sure.
An actual cloud actually made a comment about taxes don't fund spending to buy stuff. And he's talking about MMT, and that's on the federal level. But I was talking more of the local levels, like this guy in Canada was doing, directly funding local stuff. And so the taxes may not be federal taxes, they could be local taxes, because that's the municipalities, the companies, the governments, they need it. Federal, if you follow MMT, taxes don't fund spending, and it's complicated, but it is out there.
I would be very interested in how much one of those units costs, because I would love to see the federal government pay local governments a certain amount of money to put up affordable housing like that. I mean, you want affordable housing, one of those units, great. Park them somewhere, hook them up, good. That sounds fantastic to me. Charge rent, what, $100 a month?
Then it's the NIMBY factor. Nobody
That's why
wants
you would have
it
the
in your
federal
backyard.
government pay local government, essentially bribe them to be decent human beings.
Yeah, but people don't want that. That's I just there was a fight near Westchester County. Westchester County is a very wealthy enclave of New York City, and in a specific small town that I grew up in, they wanted they wanted to build affordable housing because you can't buy a house there for less than $1 million at least, right? Because it's so close to New York City. Everybody fought it. And the people that fought it were progressives. I mean, liberals, whatever. A lot of people fought it. They didn't want that in their area. Yeah. So are these places then always going to be in empty lots or near malls or, repurposed like that? Because it's NIMBY if you haven't heard of it. Not
Point
in
of
my
clarity,
backyard.
if you're NIMBY, you ain't progressive. You might say you are, but you are not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
These
the
are
town I
business
live
people.
in, Greenwood, South Carolina, the year before I moved here, so this would be 2021, they raised, let's see if they did this same thing. They got $2.1 million for funding of tiny homes. They did 12 in the first phase, and I admit I haven't looked into it enough to see what they did in subsequent phases.
Yep.
But they did it specifically for single parent families, homeless or houseless. The problem was down here, apparently, they see that you're on the street and you have a kid and they take them away. And so they were hiding mothers specifically were in hiding with their children and like living in the woods and not coming out. And so finally they were like, we gotta build houses. So they did
Yeah.
tiny homes,
Right.
which I think is like, okay. So ultimately I think it's a step in the right direction and you can do more, but like am I wrong? It's huge, right? Like
That's
all of a sudden
huge.
you go from outside
Okay.
with your kid to we have a tiny home with solar panels. I don't even have solar panels.
That is huge. Yeah.
Well, if something like that could be done all over now, an actual cloud again was saying tiny apartments, pass it on. I guess they aren't as cute though. Understand that it has to be a mix in different places. Obviously, in let's say Buffalo, New York, you could build that kind of complex, that kind of place, but it has to not be seen as the projects, which they just unbuilt, a few years ago in Buffalo. I mean, there's so much to this topic, but mine was mainly these billionaires and these obscene amounts of money that these people have.
$2.1 million for 12 homes just in phase one seems like the government could free that kind of money. Okay, here's the thing. One billionaire could solve homelessness.
Wait,
overnight,
how much?
Right?
How much money for how many homes was it?
Well, they just said the project had 2.1 million, and in the first phase they had 12 homes. So I haven't looked into it enough to see what they
not
did
bad.
beyond that. But yeah, I mean, 2.1 million. It's like, come on, man. The government's or look at the
Right.
Pentagon audit every year. They don't know what they're not. It's a joke. 2.1.
Yeah,
10
first
million
of all,
is nothing.
Easily. And if they are tiny, well-built homes, one hopes, that resource will be along for a very long time. I do want to address the tiny apartments thing. Per unit, you're probably getting a better deal, sure, but there's a minimum amount of investment that's necessary there. And what I like so much about the tiny homes idea is you could have, say, the federal government give a subsidy to a state, and then the state could divide up that subsidy between communities for however many communities have room for these, and you could divide up the tiny little homes. Sorry, I'll read that in a moment. You could divide up the tiny little homes by what little towns have room, so you don't have to have everybody who had no income in one area. Right. You suddenly have a wave of 100, 200 people. You could have 2 new people in your town who right now are on hard times, but it's not going to make a poor area. It's just 2 units. I think that's a great way to, number one, deal with the NIMBYism, and number two, deal with the problem quickly. Everybody chips in a little bit. Nobody even notices the stress. I love the idea.
Yeah, they don't want to fix that problem, though. They want people.
Who's they?
Yeah.
The billionaire class, the donor class.
Who cares what they think?
No, but I'm saying like this is the
gotta
real
jack them
issue
up.
is like, because to me it's obvious that they could fix, like any one billionaire could be like, you know what, we're gonna fix this, and they could, right? They can make it happen.
Yeah.
Immediately, but there's no. Capitalism isn't about propping people up. So I mean, like that's the thing is they didn't make their money doing that,
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the relevance of their opinion. Set it up through your representatives.
Well, but I think I'm circling back in my mind to they should be punished for that somehow.
Oh yeah,
and if it's
for
just
sure.
like a tax or
gulag,
or like we were saying, like you get to a point where it's like, okay, buddy, you're not going to spend that money in a lifetime. Like Soul Life was saying, Elon Musk lost $200 billion in a year. Like,
God. And where did it go? You buy a company for $40 billion. It's funny money, but where does it go?
It's on paper,
yes,
but I mean, fact is, he's still the most, wealthiest man in the world or whatever. So like,
and he's a gaslighting, really creepy, not
okay.
A very
So that's
nice
the
man.
other thing is
he's not a nice man.
He gets platformed on Joe Rogan recently, and we're not going to play that clip. It's been played on a lot of other shows. I can't stand to listen to either one of them talk about literally anything. But like, he's talking about just in terms of like what's wrong with the world and how awful it is in San Francisco. And if you walk around, you'll see what I mean. It's like, you're not walking around. Okay. Elon Musk. And
No,
if you are, it's
no.
you're if you are and you're recognizing what's wrong with the world and you think
Yeah.
buying Twitter, and this is the case he was making, you think buying Twitter is going to save the planet? It's a joke. You're a laughing
Didn't he
stock. It's
say it
such
was
a joke.
he was concerned about I don't know. He said he was concerned about something and I'm thinking, "Wait a minute, dude. You're concerned that Twitter was a bad place and now it's 20 times worse. You can't even be on Twitter without getting all kinds of spammy invites to be on different things. And there's all kinds of hideous ugliness and fighting. I stay on my little climate Twitter,
Yeah,
where it is, Jake.
that's why I think
Oh, sure.
Matt.
that's why I
Matt.
think like he has it's like, okay, that's very nice that you want to help things. We don't need you to literally help things. And so now I guess I'm going back to, do we make them do community service or not? We don't need them to, as long as we get the money. And by we, I mean the government, whoever's in charge
And
of
who's
this
going to
project.
pass those laws? Right away.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
the
like,
thing.
that's crazy.
I mean-
that's why I was fantasizing. I should write a screenplay. Like
That would be a good movie.
Your guest that was on before.
Forrest.
Yes, Forrest, with a talented staff about, a world that is not utopia, but where things have been ironed out. And if you can't get rid of Citizens United, then you're just going to have to think creatively.
I don't agree that we can't get rid of Citizens
Well,
United.
we have
Incidentally,
not yet.
How do you
incidentally,
get past the Supreme Court?
team up with Josh Hawley. Strangely enough,
Yeah.
So
Actually,
weird,
he
right?
said it today, right?
here's the funny thing, and I'm going to do an expanded talk about this on my channel eventually here. But Mitch McConnell, furious with Josh Hawley for his attempt to get rid of Citizens United. Man, we should jump on that with both feet.
So what, like a Trojan horse? Like we use his cause for our own.
Well, he doesn't
I don't
like it
see-
because Democrats make money on it too.
Who's he? What are we? No,
Josh.
yeah.
So
Josh.
you're saying
Josh does like it. Josh proposed it.
No,
So
yeah,
Josh
he
is trying
wants
to
to
get
get rid of it.
Right. He wants to get rid of
Exactly.
it.
But not
Yeah.
because he thinks it's unfair.
Right.
He
Yeah.
No,
He
yeah,
thinks it's
there was
unfair that Democrats are making money on it, are making money or getting donations because of it.
I think
It's not our
Democrats
fault
use
that
it
he's
more
dumb.
than Republicans. But then I thought there was another reason why he wanted to get rid of it.
Basically, for the same reason Matt Gaetz wants to get like MAGA types, the extreme MAGA types, want to
Yeah.
get rid of this for the same reason that we want to get rid of it. The centrists are not in between our beliefs and MAGA beliefs. It's more like a triangle. The centrists are just in favor of neoliberalism. So MAGA won't get a piece of that pie because they're too crazy. We don't get a piece of that pie because we actually give a damn. However, I can hear my echo. I'm so sorry. But however, we can acknowledge the fact that we have similar, in some cases, similar interests with these psychos over there and the far right, and say, great, if you want to embarrass your party by by making a big deal about getting rid of Citizens United and embarrassing them by making them vote against it and exposing themselves as not giving a damn about the opinions of mere peasants, I would love to do the same thing and embarrass the same types in my party. Let's do it.
Hey guys, can I read a comment from Mars Falcon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could put it on
To
screen.
get elected in our dark money system, one needs the wealthy donors. The wealthy donors do not want taxes or regulation. It's a loop. Hawley is full of shite. He doesn't care about Citizens United.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's worried
Thank
about
you,
woke
Mars.
corporations using it.
Yeah, I
Good.
thought that was good. Thanks.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
yeah, we the
We
left
got a
should
great
jump on that.
chat in all of our chats. We've got awesome people. Thank you,
That's
guys.
my favorite part of this. I mean, I like hanging out with you guys, but getting all the chats in one place so I
Well,
can see them all at
everybody's
once.
here, and it's an invested conversation. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with everybody that came.
I have a
You know what
Thank
it
you.
reminds me of?
Oh, go
What?
It
ahead.
reminds me of when they wanted to get rid of the woke parts of the military budget. Like, okay,
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
one of the woke parts of the military
call.
budget: toilet paper,
Yeah.
tampons.
Let's pare it down by about 2 billion of the woke dollars. Sure.
Yeah, they want to get rid of feminine hygiene products because it's woke. Sorry,
I was on a
I'm
plane
the
the
only
other
girl
day
here.
where they let there's a lot of military on the plane, and they let them all get off first, right? So we're all waiting for them to get off. And then when they were gone, they said, let's give them a round of applause. And I was like, they're already gone. Can we just get off the plane now, please? This
No.
wasn't in any of the fine print.
Let's
Maybe it was.
applaud. Let's applaud the air they passed through. What the f are you doing, weirdo? No.
It's like we could have been clapping as they were leaving, I guess. I don't know. I didn't clap, just for the record. I was like,
Yeah, well, you let military off. I know it's supposed to be an honor, but in theory, you let them off first because they might have somewhere to go. They might be on leave. It's understood that they might be on not a civilian schedules. Hence, you let them go.
but why were we all clapping
Looney
after? I
Tunes.
thought it
That's
was
just
funny.
cult nonsense.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I could put up the comments like I was in charge, because Looney Tune just gave me a laugh. I'm sorry. I don't want to bring it away from Sandy's officially recovering from her MAGA costume.
That was good.
That was
I
so
have to
good.
get a hat, though. Everybody says I should make it into a thing every now and then, but I think I'd have to write a script because this all came out of the top of my head. I mean, how do you strike?
Wow.
I didn't write anything. I'm just thinking, how could how could
little
lightning
too
strike
good.
twice? Yeah, I
little
just
too
did
good.
it. Yeah, but I
That was
watch
so
a lot.
cool.
I wanted to emulate the those people that interview all the MAGA people at the conventions. It's fun.
You know, just going back to Elon Musk, he's an
Yeah,
idiot
let's go back.
boss. He is one of these guys that takes over and makes people constantly wonder, why is he doing that? What's the point of that? Why is he doing it? And it's like we are all just trying to rationalize something that's completely irrational. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He thinks every thought that he has is original to himself. Like how Donald Trump learns new information that was common knowledge to the rest of us and then goes out and talks about, did you guys know this? Did you know this? Abraham Lincoln had a funny beard with no mustache? We're all just learning this. It's like, no, we aren't. You idiot are. But it's like they are so, particularly with Musk, I think he is so spoiled. And I think he has just been handed everything the whole time. And that,
He's
people
so
are
out
like,
of touch.
you are going to grow up to be a very special person. And it's just a shame that happened to, I don't know. I do think like it's, I don't put a lot of emphasis on, well, they should have raised him better. But I do think like
No,
you can totally
because
ruin
you can't go
somebody
backwards.
with cash.
He's
Yeah,
here.
but-
We have to deal with that jerk now. We have to deal with the fact that he says zombie apocalypse in San Francisco, and with not any insight into the fact that he is responsible. He and his class are responsible for that people cannot afford to live in San Francisco. Totally clueless, calling the left a cult, a death cult, and then they're bringing up the voluntary extinction movement or something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just insane. It's insane.
And
I mean,
that's just apparently some guy who says
Yeah, one
voluntary
guy.
extinction is like, don't have kids.
that's it. And there's a
That's
lot
what
of people in my community that talk like that, but we don't have it. There was a near-term human extinction, NTHE. Near-term could be 100 years, it could be 1,000 years. It was the fact that we talk about the actual science, and like I highlighted last night, Rocksdorf, there's a compilation article, qualitative analysis of 39 different studies all together that are pointing, the way. Doesn't Elon Musk read anything? I thought he has a bachelor's degree.
We can't take this is giving him entirely too much credit. Like,
that was my point. Yeah.
Then he should watch my show.
He doesn't? I just assumed.
Oh my God. Well, I know Joe Rogan doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear him talk about stuff like this, I like that, like, the Majority Report talks about it and what have you. But I think as long as at least one of us breaks it down as like, this is specifically why it's stupid. I think the way to generally treat it is just summarize it. Like, he said another nonsense thing, and also maybe recognize what this strategy is. This whole I am rubber, you are glue thing. There is a reason they do that. They do that so that when accusations are leveled against them, very real accusations like their cult-like mentality, their use of Twitter essentially as a mind virus, as he calls it, when those quite true accusations are brought to light, for the people he needs to keep conned, to them, it'll just sound like noise. To them, that just sounds like political talk. Oh, that's the sort of thing people accuse each other of in politics. So I'll choose to go with the nonsense that's of the variety that I'm comfortable with.
But didn't it make you angry when you watched both of them, wealthy men, sitting there, white wealthy men, Joe Rogan, who's had his head bashed, and actually opinionating on an like walking in apocalypse? I was deeply offended, but pissed off.
I had to mute it. Yeah,
gaslighting, and they have no idea. They're so out of touch with the real world.
Just a couple of a-holes.
Oh,
it was like. I was angry and angry because I just felt like so much is going on in the world, and these two assholes are sitting there talking about their privilege.
And Joe Rogan, stony faced with that ridiculous wig on. Just
my costume was better than his costume.
Oh,
your costume was genuinely good. I got a kick out of that.
I have a question. So I meant to bring this up beforehand, before we went live. So let me just do it now. There's been some discussion in the last week about how to handle super chats in situations like this. Do we put them up and here's what I was thinking, because I like to just put random comments up on screen.
Yeah.
And then highlight all the super chats at the end. Or
I don't know. It's the first time I've ever been this. I got a lot of them last night, so I think everybody's super chat outed on me.
I just wonder if anyone came to like a census.
I like the idea of doing it at the end, like a special super chat section. You have funded this show. We thank you. Let's read the super chats.
Yeah.
I like that.
I did it at my break time in the middle because it was really exciting. I've never had anything like that before on YouTube 7 years, so I was like so excited.
Well, congratulations.
I was so happy, and everybody made me happy, but they love me. I love them. They know it. So, but I'm super chatted out, and I'm not asking anybody for anything.
So for this conversation, where do you like for this show? Let's say tonight, where do you want
it
to
at the end because that's the consensus. I think Matt likes that too.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And all right, everybody, Matt and Jake, give them the super chats.
But then it's just like random. You may have your chat highlighted during the show. Like,
I like that.
Participate, right? There's
Yeah.
Oh, Nadia says the context of the super chats will expire if you wait till the end to address them because
too bad.
No, we'll remember. We'll remember. Be specific.
We will know. We know what we're talking about, Nadia, sweetheart. Yep.
Although Nadia, that's
wonderful.
not a bad point, but
it's a fair point.
Just say tiny homes or whatever.
Yeah. There you go. There
So
you
what do
go.
you think about my oversized sweater? Does it look
I
dumb?
like it.
Is
No,
it
it looks
okay on
nice.
screen?
Your
Yeah.
oversized sweater.
Yeah, see the shoulders are like way down here. It's a big.
Honestly, I didn't even
Oh,
Oh,
notice.
it is. It's quite long. Yeah.
It's like
it
the
looks
first
comfy.
actual day of fall here, so it feels like
It looks comfy.
big sweater weather.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been using my wood stove for a month already. I've got
Yeah, I
all
heard
of-
that, Sandy.
yeah.
That
Mhm.
you have a wood stove. I'm so. I'm not. What's the word when you're happy for somebody? But
It's hard work and it kills my neck and my back. I can't load the wood from downstairs under the
I'm happy.
wood shed, but I hire these kids that bring the wood up off my deck and then I can do it. I bring the wood in with a flexible flyer. It's a whole thing, but I've been doing it and I've been heating like this, It's the only way to go. Propane is $3.99 and they truck it in. And my friends have the farm. They're the ones I get the wood from. So it's just a real communal thing here. It's very
You
communal.
hire kids to lift the wood?
Yeah. Why
That's-
not? They come about
that's-
three times a year.
Is it
and
rude to ask what you pay them? I'm just curious.
That's Norman Rockwell-esque.
Is it
One
like
kid-
snow shoveling rates?
I don't know what that is because nobody shovels and I saw
20
my
bucks.
I don't
plow.
know. $20 a walk, yeah.
Well, the younger kid is 10 and the older one is 20
It snowed where I live.
an hour. But it
in
only
Colorado.
takes them 3 hours to load me up for 2 months. The two of them.
3 hours?
They
How
only
much
have to
wood?
come. What do I burn?
That's got to
every
be
year?
like what? 2 cords?
Yeah, they load up my deck so that
How
they
many
don't have
times
to
a
come
year?
back.
Literally the whole. Okay.
Maybe 3 times during the season. That's it. But I have a lot of wood downstairs. But they bring it up.
That sounds like heaven.
And I had these wonderful, charitable, beautiful people, Debbie and Max. They're 79 and 72 or 71. He has a farm, 120 acres. He doesn't farm anymore. He had all kinds of stuff that he recycled, but what he did was he recycled and built me a firewood lean-to with a metal roof and all beautiful wood that he planed himself, and he and his wife in their 70s came over and built it. I called myself Sandy's Habitat for Humanity.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
there's some beautiful people in this world. So as angry as you get, then there's people like them.
Did you guys? I used to do work for Habitat. Did you guys ever do anything?
I personally never have, not physically. No, I've got enough, in my own the way I've lived.
We went on work
That's beautiful.
retreats through in high school through the church
Beautiful.
youth group. The youth group was very like I was kind of like I don't like church, but the youth group was very like involved in the community. I did a lot of stuff like feeding the houseless and stuff like that. And we would go on these like 2-week retreats to build a house or like flip a house. And the way it works is Habitat will pay for it, but the people who are going to live there have to put in a certain amount of hours working on it. So we got to work with the people who are going to move in on their house.
Yeah.
It was such a, to be like a 14, 15-year-old screw up and like get to go do that for 2 weeks in Appalachia was just amazing. It was like the best.
That sounds amazing.
That is quite an
great.
experience. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the person who was going to get the house helped build it?
They have to put in a certain amount of hours helping, whatever that means, painting. My
Okay.
thing was I would, my brother is like a genuine carpenter. So he would do a lot of like table saw,
Yeah.
window framing and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
was a caulker. I would go around and just caulk like literally
Teamwork.
everything.
It's great.
Yeah, it
It
was
is.
really
Sounds-
fun.
That's a really
It
good
sounds
program.
really cathartic.
It
would be
is
so
a good
nice.
program.
You meet a lot of people from the area. And like I say, sometimes it was like West Virginia, Appalachia. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh
It
yeah.
was like I'll never get to talk to people like this again. Like these people are from the earth,
Yeah.
And
Dude,
and
that's such a cool experience.
yeah, it was cool. And then we would do other things where we go into like the middle of Baltimore and Washington D.C. under bridges where there were hundreds of homeless just gathering, and we would just hand out bag lunches. So yeah, it was great.
That I have done.
Wow.
Yeah, that's and it's wildly different, you know, like those
Mhm.
two things. But we would do them multiple times a year. Yeah, it was great. That's some of the most rewarding stuff. I think that's kind of what made me like, even though I was voting conservative, I was like, no, we
Which
should be
blows
helping
me
people.
away.
Well, I mean,
That's
you
your
know,
past.
yeah,
And you
well, I mean,
learned?
I was raised that way. It wasn't,
Yeah.
it was like I got out of it as soon as I could. My dogs are goth had a great saying for when we know better, we do better. Is that what it is? Is that what it was? My dogs are goth. I see you in the chat.
Is
Well, I
she
was
here?
interviewing Jesse Dollamore,
Help us with that,
Mhm.
and they
dogs.
said,
Or is
know
she?
better, do better, or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So once you know, get on it, right?
Yeah.
But I was always helping people. It's just I didn't see I thought there was a correlation between voting conservative so people could do for themselves and then also helping the less fortunate. And I was like, no, wait, this is a mess. You know, like this is not how it works. But yeah, I was
I
like,
mean, for a while, it's not going to. Majority Report fans will be familiar with this story. For a while, I thought I might be libertarian. My dogs are goth. When we know better, we do better. I love that saying.
The
Well
party
done,
of
my
the
dogs.
scorched earth, Jake.
libertarian, huh?
Scorched earth
So
party.
you don't like roads? Just kidding. That's what they always say. On Majority
You
Report.
No,
don't
I
like
literally,
roads.
I literally had. It wasn't. I had a misunderstanding of the fundamental. Like you have to understand. I was young, but I had a misunderstanding of what it was to be a libertarian, and my idea was that you could have laws as a libertarian, but you had to bend over backwards to justify it. You had to, in my mind, to be a libertarian was, um, yes, you can have taxes for roads,
Mhm.
but you must present where is the road going. Here is why we need a road here. Here is all these blah 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 blah. But as with I think everybody who gets serious about politics
Mhm.
and comes from a libertarian perspective, after about 5 minutes of reading, I was like, I am not a libertarian.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you want a library card? How many books are you gonna read?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's like, what do you care?
Is Ron Paul a libertarian?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And libertarians
It's a nonsense
are,
philosophy.
well, they don't like regulations, and so therefore scorched earth, because they would roll back regulations and it would be even worse of a corporate state than it is now without regulations. Forget it.
It's just not a practical philosophy, like political philosophy.
Right.
I understand why some people think it is. I thought it might be, but when you look at what they're actually advocating for, it's just nonsense. Like it's not even.
Give us a
If you
nonsensical anecdote.
like a
Give me
libertarian
an
idea.
antidote.
Yeah, like when you just ask them how would things be decided, and they go down their
Like
little
land and property, and they're
Yeah,
like, well,
like-
I get there first, it's mine.
okay, and then you wake up tomorrow and somebody is on your front yard and they're like, oh no, I'm staking out my land, and
Yeah.
okay, so you get into a gunfight, and then that
I win.
escalates, and like you see how it becomes nothing immediately. It's just like
It's like,
go back a little bit, take it a little more seriously than we did. Like you do find somebody has encroached on what you consider to be your property, genuinely asking a libertarian, how do you solve that? Their answer ends up essentially being like, well, we would go to
We need a law.
arbitration.
yeah.
So the Bundys in Oregon that took the ranch, were they libertarians?
I think so. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was gonna say they'd be like, well, you go to arbitration, and who pays for this person? Well, who you split the bill. Like it becomes nonsensical. More of the same. I'm sorry. We were moving on gently, and I don't know why I pulled us back.
No, you did well.
But it is
I
really like
appreciated it, Jake.
every libertarian theory, it gets so weird. It's like now you can see like this is the path everyone was on when they finally said, "Okay, we need a law."
Yes.
Like we
Yes.
do
Exactly.
need like this is how we came to
Absolutely,
the idea that
absolutely.
libertarianism
You just
doesn't work.
exactly. You
Like
just find
it
that you're
undoes
having
itself. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
find yourself having political debates from the 1790s. And you're like, okay,
With the Whig Party.
this has been decided for a good reason. This was decided a long, long time ago.
Right.
Did you
People decided this with these and thous. All right, we don't need to go over this again.
Did
Oh,
you guys
Jake.
see the cartoon I put up today about Sam Cedar in summer camp?
Yeah.
I did not.
I kind of,
Yeah, it's
I just
cute.
needed like some
You wanna show it?
opening dialogue. Oh, I guess I could.
Yeah, show it. Then
Um,
we can visualize and look at it again.
so he was telling a story about how he was on his way to the showers in nothing but a towel when he thought he saw Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard that story.
And I just made like a goofy, hold on. I just made like a goofy cartoon, but I needed some opening dialogue. Like, what were they talking about on the way to the shower? And I thought this was really funny. So it's kind of small there, but he says, and this is, I'm spoofing, I don't know if you ever read Boys Life, the
Well, no-
Boy Scout
No.
magazine from
I'm
back in the day.
familiar.
This is spoofing Pee Wee Harris. But he says, so fellas, how about after we hit the showers, we vote on who makes tonight's campfire? After all, in a liberal democracy, voting is by far the most vital aspect of. And then he's like, fellas, guys, hey fellas, where'd you go?
Guys?
But like, I just needed him to say something, right? And then,
oh
and
yeah,
then he
yeah, yeah.
Right.
hears noises, thinks it's Bigfoot, runs into the dining hall, loses his towel. They yell, yeah. But I thought that I love. This is in line with like libertarianism doesn't mean anything. Like when you could talk about it forever and it's goop. I love writing that kind of dialogue where it's like,
It doesn't make
I know
sense.
I'm not going to finish this sentence, but it's like in a liberal democracy, voting is by
Yeah.
far the most vital aspect of what?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I liked it.
You know you're dealing with a political clown when they rely upon being interrupted. They need to be interrupted because if you just let them keep going, they'll become embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Man,
funny.
I don't do debate though. I can't. I just feel like if somebody's going to change my mind on something,
Mm-hmm.
by all means, just state your case. Why do we have to argue?
And
But
let me
I
think
can
about
see
it.
how it could be fun and healthy and you learn how to discuss things back and forth or whatever. But
Yeah,
in today's world,
I think I've
Today's
overused.
world debates. Do you think the political debates, at least the presidential ones, are debates?
no.
They don't
Yeah.
even
Maybe
lay out debate rules.
actually, when it gets down to just two guys
Good
on
point.
stage, maybe
Okay.
there's maybe something to that. But
I mean, the difference between a debate and a discussion, if we're getting technical, and we
Mhm.
are, is the format. And so, yes, they are a debate. They're not good debates, but they are debates. And
well,
and I should say,
2016 in the Republicans with Carly Farina and that whole
oh
that show, it was like that. Those were debates. That was
it's
the
a
beginning
spectacle
of
first.
the
Yeah.
toilet. And if I had the environmental house flush of the day, I'd
Mhm.
flush the 2016 Republican debates right down.
I will say, I use the word debate. I shouldn't have. Discussion is what I should
Yeah.
have.
But you
said.
debate,
And,
right?
you know, I don't. Maybe we have
you
a
weren't
lot of
on
discussions.
a debate team.
Yeah, I could see you debating and actually
debate-
following the rules of debate.
I'll tell you, I debate. I have debated, and I do still sometimes debate on a message board service under an assumed name, because I like to
Really?
tear into folks like a bag of Lays. Yeah, it's like
Ooh.
playing chess, but it's like over mail. Only instead of thinking up calculated moves, I call people a.
Oh boy.
I trolled
You're
one
a
time.
bad boy.
I had a troll account one time
Ooh.
that started to get really popular with people on my side. I was trolling trolls, and I just didn't understand Twitter at the time. I was really weird. I was just like, this will be fun to like mess with these guys a couple of times, and then like my account got up around 1,000 followers like in a few days, and I was like, uh-oh, I don't want to do this.
No.
Do you want to know what it was?
Yes.
The when Star Wars the
Hmm.
Last Jedi came out, the second of the latest trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
there was like a Twitter profile, and they claimed to be a bunch of anonymous Hollywood producers and directors and writers who were going to remake The Last Jedi.
Oh.
And I had a troll account called Remake the Remake, which is essentially just re-releasing the original version, right? So, but I made my Twitter profile look exactly like theirs. And it was the exact same name, except for I had remake in there twice, the word remake.
Really?
And like, and I trolled them for like, I don't know, a day. And I got really worried about my popularity because I was like, well, I don't want to be a pro troll.
Yeah.
So I killed the account, but I had like friends of mine started following it, and I was like, uh-oh.
You know what? In
A
Star
pro
Wars,
troll?
you would be Mace Windu. You use the Vapad style. You walked near to the dark side, but you did not succumb. Good for
Right.
you.
Yeah, no, I got out of there. And I even told a friend of mine, I said, remember that Twitter account, the remake of The Last Jedi? And he was like, that was hilarious. I was like, that was me. And he was like, it was? And I was like, isn't that weird? He goes, yeah. And I was like, I didn't like it. I shouldn't have done it.
Sandy,
Anyway.
did you? I got one for you, and I feel like this is something Sandy would have seen. I'm gonna take a gamble. Did you ever see that? No, I actually don't think you saw this. Never mind. I'm gonna try anyway. Did you ever see that Star Wars project where fans were given 1 second of A New Hope each to film? You know what I'm talking about?
Is it a 1990s project or something newer?
Something newer. The internet was
Hmm.
common in people's houses. It's like mid
Say it again.
2000s.
Okay.
What was it?
The Star Wars.
Yeah. To celebrate Star Wars
Yeah.
A New Hope, like some
Yeah.
anniversary, George Lucas and company asked
Made
fans.
a big thing out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They asked
And you got
people
an
to make
email.
they asked people to make 1 second of the entirety of A New Hope and
I
send it
missed
in.
that.
And then they strung it all together, and it's amazing.
Oh, I gotta watch that. How long? It's the same
It's the
length
full
as-
movie. It's the full thing.
Movie. Wow.
How could they decide which second? That seems like it'd be really difficult.
They
Like to put
they
piece
divided
together.
up the entire movie into second clips, and it was basically first comes first serve, and I think they also had a right to veto, like take multiple submissions.
So
And
it was like you were assigned your 1
Yes.
second.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was also like yours might not get used if it's terrible.
Makes me wonder how much can happen in 1 second in a movie. Okay, I just had an
A lot,
idea.
turns out.
Okay.
Jake, I
In a
had an
movie.
idea.
Are we segueing?
Check it out. What if?
Alright.
What if? That's what Rush Limbaugh used to always say. What if? And it was like, come on,
Oh my
man. Straw man coming up. So what I think is, wouldn't it be funny? Maybe it's like a clip we all love, or maybe it's something like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk talking for 5 minutes. What if we get the audience to do 1 second? What do you call it? What would they call the Star Wars thing ultimately? Collage?
I can't remember. Yeah,
Repiecing
I'm
the
gonna
1
glaze
second
over
project.
here.
What if we do a 1 second project?
A 1 second project.
I don't
With
follow.
our chat?
Yeah, like we get our audiences to do 1 second of something. Maybe it's like a 30-second clip or something like that.
Oh, like, but I guess I don't understand how.
Communicate this?
Yeah, what would
What
be the
medium?
source? What would be the thing that we would?
Yeah,
be
I don't
distributing?
know. I don't know.
I know.
No, that's what I'm
the
saying.
Sam
Like we'd have to
Cedar.
figure that.
The Sam Cedar
we do a
thing on
sentence
Steven
instead?
Crowder.
A sentence.
Sandy,
Oh
you
yeah,
remember that?
there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It would have to be something existing, like a beloved clip or something that everyone wanted to make fun of or something. But yeah,
I
then
have two
figure
suggestions.
that
First,
out.
point of clarity. Sandy Scholes, do you know what we're talking about?
Sort of. I'm good at keeping
okay.
up.
Sam Cedar snuck onto Steven Crowder's show
Mm-hmm.
to debate him.
You've seen that.
That was controversial, right?
Where he said, Sam
Yeah.
Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes.
I do
and
know what you're talking about.
all right, so that's my vote. But how Sandy, how do you feel like we should? How should we decide this? Like audience poll?
Audience poll. What do you guys think? I'm looking at my chat.
Let's think here. How practical would it be? Like, what
Singing
would they...
Way said, "Can we do a sentence instead?"
Groove Dragon
Or a
says,
line of a song lyric?
Groove Dragon says, the letter heck is more stoned than usual.
No, we're
I'm not
relaxed.
The letter heck?
Stoned at all.
We're relaxed.
I have never once been on YouTube under the influence of anything except caffeine.
And I have
That's
never
the
once
truth.
been on YouTube fully
Not
sober.
under
So
that,
I
right.
I feel that we balance each other out nicely.
I'm
And
not going to
don't
mess
know.
And
around.
Sandy's a give or
I'm
take.
abstaining.
Where I live, I don't mess around, man. These guys are crazy down here. I'm not getting into it with the law
Damn.
in
I
South
feel like-
Carolina.
Yeah, I feel like you
Oh,
live in
so
an
you don't
area
want me to send
where
you a
people
pound
drink
of
from
sativa?
a jug.
No, I don't. It's like when I was in Colorado, it was like going to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Big
was
difference.
that's a sign of a tolerant society. So now I'm living in a completely opposite, like
Do you live in the
intolerant
country?
society.
Are you in a rural area?
In the U.S. country?
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
where you are you in a rural area?
Yeah, I'm like an hour, 15 minutes from the airport, and then I have to fly to a real airport, and then I can
Okay.
fly away
Cool.
wherever I'm going. So, but
And
how?
it's
I mean, it's South Carolina.
Natural-
It doesn't have
natural-
to be rural.
natural
be-
habitat, beautiful.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And right now it's like fall, so like it looks like
Nice.
fall outside.
Good.
And it doesn't, like in Colorado, it was snowing pretty good the other day.
Oh,
It was
yeah, I
like
saw that
5
weather.
degrees. That's
yeah.
why I left. I was
Where
like, I can't
Jennifer
do that.
lives, I saw it. I was like, "Holy crap, Jen!"
Yeah,
On roads
that
you
area,
got 9
yeah.
degrees already.
Yeah,
I mean, I
forget
got
that.
some snow, and I still have work to do, but not 9 degrees. Not yet. Not yet.
No, it's like 65, 70, windy,
Where you are.
cloudy. Yeah, maybe like 55 today. Not bad, but
What is it where you are? Let's all give our temperatures.
yeah. What are you up to, Jake?
28
It's
for
cold?
me.
Oh,
Oh,
now
right now?
I'm not fast with this thing.
It's 38 right now, but I don't go outside at night because of bugs.
34.
Bugs are
Mercy.
good.
Not
It's
in South
34
Carolina.
where you are, 28 where I am,
Ooh.
and I know it's good. It's a little cold snap, but I it'll go back up.
What we like to do here is go outside at night and shine a flashlight at the front yard and look at all the eyeballs staring back at us.
Lots of buggies.
It's not
Boy.
cool. It's like
Why?
as soon as
bugs
it gets
are
dark,
good. Without bugs, forget it.
hey, that's okay as long as I'm inside and they're outside. But like
They're not biting you.
as soon as it gets dark, it's like somebody just turns up the bugs. It's like
Wow,
the noise is all of a sudden it's a cacophony.
that's well, yeah.
Good
I
pull.
love that. I love that word.
It's a good word. This is why. Oh, thank you so much. My dogs are goth with the
Wow.
very kind $10. Oh wait,
Aw.
I'm not supposed to. Anyway, I'll make fun of it. How about this? With the very kind $10 Monopoly money, we'll read that at the end.
That's sweet. That's very
awesome.
sweet.
I'm so used to doing that on my show. I just snapped into it. I forgot we already agreed when we're doing this. I'm excited to read that.
Okay.
Good.
But yeah, I don't like I got over winter. It was too much for me. I was like,
Right.
the older I got, the more I was like, yeah, no, I want to move to like a warm climate year round.
And you did it.
Yeah.
I understand the
And so you
feeling.
take the good with
It's a
the
trade-off.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a trade-off,
balance.
but it's always like that. You know, I'm out here. I moved from a metropolitan, right, from Buffalo area down into the rural Amish country of all time. And I like it, and it's you just acclimate and you start becoming part of your community and meeting the people that resonate with you. I hope that you guys could do that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I
I
well,
mean,
no, I don't choose to associate with anybody almost ever. I'm sure in my neighborhood I'm old Mr. whatever and kids
Oh,
tell
your old
legends.
pal. Did anybody come trick or treating at your house, Jake?
I had trick-or-treaters. I was
Really?
psyched. Yes. Because I was not in my where I currently live is not where I was on Halloween. I am staying this place is not my house. I'm staying at my parents' house while I watch 4 dogs who are all prep.
4 dogs.
Yes, but there was kids in the neighborhood. I was delighted. I got to hand out tons of candy.
What
so
kind of
How
dogs?
about you guys? Oh,
oh
God,
no.
Boxer Lab mix. She's a sweet girl. Jack Russell Terrier, a Pomeranian Poodle, and a Alaskan Malamute / wolf.
Oh, you have got the cadre of dogs.
The
Wow.
the wolf dog, he might come through in a moment. He looks like a ginger cloud. You can tell he's here if it looks like I have an orange green screen behind me
All right.
suddenly.
All right, cuz we love pets on a channel, so. All
I
right, Matt, your turn.
what?
You had something.
Oh, well, I was gonna say the other day that I thought I thought that Jake's background was like a ski lodge green screen. I was like, nice lodge. Oh wait, that might be your house. Is it? It is. It's not a green screen, right?
Yeah, neither was true. It's not my house, but it is where
Oh,
No,
I
it's a
am.
stone fireplace though.
I see. Um, I I didn't get anyone for Halloween.
No,
I
thank
haven't
you.
had anyone for Halloween in over 20 years, going on 30 years. I just happen to live in neighborhoods where they don't come around. Now in
Oh,
my original neighborhood where I grew up, it was my mother's neighborhood. My grandparents lived a block away. That was the house she was raised in.
Mhm.
They had people would come from other neighborhoods to trick or treat here because there's a pretty good neighborhood, nice, not wealthy, but chock
Good-
full of houses.
Good candy.
Yeah, and my grandparents' house
Nice
was
grouping.
famous because all the way through the 80s, my grandfather had a talking pumpkin where he would get the largest pumpkin he could find, carve it up, and then just super easy, he had like a speaker system that he would, like an internal home speaker
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
yes.
He would hide behind a tree and then bury the corresponding one in some leaves behind the pumpkin. And kids would walk by. He'd be like, "Hello," and it became legendary. And we would spend like days before Halloween, like we would never rake the leaves. We would cover the porch with leaves, and somebody would always take a turn. Different years, sometimes more than one person a year. I did a few years in a row, where you dress up and sit on the porch. And so there was always like the kids had to walk. It was kind of like Wizard of Oz, right? It was like the kids had to
Yeah.
walk
Good
up this
memories.
sidewalk to this porch where somebody was just like sitting under a spooky light. And there was all kinds of, like, we had a record player in the window playing spooky sounds across the whole neighborhood. It was epic. And like people would be like, "That's your grandparents' house?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they're like, "That's the coolest house. I've been going there since I was 5 or whatever." Yeah, it was really fun. And they
Neighborhood
had,
fame. Yes.
yeah, and my grandparents would spare no expense on the candy they would buy, and they would just, it was nonstop for hours. It was pretty wild.
know,
Wow, that's a
That's
lot.
that's part of the allure of having a good Halloween setup. If you're gonna have the balls to say, "All right, I'm the person with animatronics outside. I'm the person
no.
with lights leading up to the house," you're also saying, "Son, I got some candy here. Young lady,
Yeah.
These are the full bars at
Americans
this
are
house.
crazy
Yeah.
with their decorations.
Yeah, we had fun. It was a good time. And my friends used to always like meet up there, and then we would go like, because I knew that neighborhood pretty well. We would go find trouble and stuff like that, and yeah, it was great. It was a fun time.
Kids are the worst, and I love them at the same
In a
time.
Norman Rockwell kind of a way, like
but
not
it's just so like, yeah, we'd go, I don't know,
steal some cars.
burn,
No,
yeah,
not like that.
cut some brake lines or whatever.
It was like,
that's mischief night.
I'm just trying to say we would find some trouble and partake, even though we were in junior high school. Yeah.
Shenanigans, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, most of my memories are when the trick-or-treaters came to my house when my daughter was going out trick-or-treating, and her costume and getting ready and all that. And I used to always have pretty good stuff because where I lived with her, it was a development. So it did go on for hours and hours. Here, I don't think there would be a kid within 20 miles that would want to come back on this driveway.
Wow.
It's not that spooky, but they don't want to come
I used
back
to
here.
live on a hill, like when you were trying to get out from my house,
Yeah.
there was people that they just couldn't do it. They couldn't back a car down it, and we would have to drive their car down for them. So nobody wanted to try
walk
to
up that
literally,
hill.
climb up that thing.
For their candy. Even
Yeah.
the kids, they really didn't want to. Wow.
So what I would do, I would sit at the bottom of our driveway with a car with a Halloween playlist, and every year I would make like a CD with enough songs that it could last me through Halloween, and I would just hang out and I would talk like a vampire and hand out candy, and those are like my fondest Halloween memories, just sitting with my dogs and handing out candy. And saying, "You're being a very good boy. Only 40 more minutes." There's not like a punchline. It was nice. I like Halloween.
Awesome. Yeah, I
that was
loved
good.
Halloween growing up, and now it's just,
It was fun.
I love watching scary movies. I was watching my interview guest tonight, Forrest Miller, does a show called Movie Night Extravaganza.
Great interview. Great, guys, if you want something different.
Yeah, he used to be the film editor for the Michael Brooks show. So he's super cool. Legendary guy.
smart.
And so they did The Exorcist last night. And
I'm going to check that out.
Now I love, Matthew Film Guy was on there. And so I love watching Exorcist 1 and 3 back to back, because 3 is like the legit sequel to the first one. And I think it's great. And I think Exorcist 3 is the scariest movie. Like, it freaks me out every time. And then they were
good one.
They were condemning the third one as like a bad movie and not good. And I was like, and so
Get out of here.
I can't help but fall, because it's the nerd in me that's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So like tonight, I was asking him, do people ever like give you feedback that you don't know what you're talking about? Because I was doing it last
Passive aggressive
night.
dick. Oh, sorry.
But I wasn't
Passive aggressive.
Well, I didn't ask him. Yeah, it was funny.
You were busting his chops. You're having fun.
Yeah.
I was listening to that interview before this. No, it was first of all, I was a little surprised that people don't do that, considering what he talks about. I would think that would be like every interview would just be tons of disagreement, and that's where the fun would come from. But no,
it's a good
he's
show.
just wrong. It's a great the Exorcist 3 is a ton of fun, and if it would have come out on its own and been called Spooky Story, it would be a classic.
Do you know that? That's a good point. Do you know that movie, Sandy? The Exorcist 3 with George C. Scott? See, there are
I know the
jump
trailer.
scares in that movie. There's a couple. Okay. Can I talk about it? We're going to venture into spoiler territory.
Sorry, every time.
Venture into spoiler territory. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hit me.
Spoilers,
Live a
everyone.
little.
So there's the one scene where they're walking around the hospital at night. They think they heard something or whatever, and that person with their arms out in all white with like a sheet over their head walks by in the background.
I
That
don't even remember that.
it is terrifying because you're like, is there anybody there? And then you're like, oh my God, right? It's the easiest, simplest thing. Somebody just walks by. But it was just the way they timed it and paced it and built up to it that I thought was so expert. And then there's another one where the lady's crawling on the ceiling. They're like in the ward, the nursing ward or whatever, like where the seniors are they're like, they don't have all their faculties. And the one lady was talking about how like her radio talks to her. And that's like how the demon was getting through, but like it possessed her in a way that let her crawl. So like the camera is looking up at the character and you can see somebody crawl by. And she stops and looks down at him and then keeps going, but it's like she's crawling really fast. Oh, it's terrifying. So if it's ever dark in your house and you're walking around,
It's
you're
dark
like
when-
looking
Oh.
around,
Yeah.
don't forget to check the
Oh,
ceiling.
thanks a lot. Now I have to go out and think about
Sandy,
that when I leave.
people
Wait a
crawling on
minute.
the ceiling, bugs, it's all part of life. Come on.
I want you guys to
Remember
appreciate.
when the guy was walking on my ceiling during the show?
Oh, yeah.
I want you guys to
My roof.
appreciate how freaked out I'm going to be by that. Look at the room I am in. Look at where the ceiling is.
Oh, yeah. See?
Oh, look at that's a beautiful ceiling.
Plenty
know-
of real
do you
estate
know-
up there.
Yeah. Do you know how freaking shadowy and spooky that is when I
Yeah,
turn
there's
down the
probably a
light?
lot of spiders hanging down
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
It could be
Sandy,
all the
the
way
perfect
up there.
spider area.
Somebody
I
could
like
just be
that.
up
I
there
could dig
waiting for
that.
you to walk by and then jump.
I love the wood on there. That's nice. All right.
I imagine Sandy seeing somebody up on the ceiling and being like, "Oh, yeah, those rafters are beautiful. What did you shellac that with?" It's like, "Hey,
Probably.
you up there?
You're
Is
so
that-
right.
Is that a
Yeah.
6-inch or?" What?
A girl like the girl from The Ring just clinging onto a beam, staring at you with unblinking eyes, and Sandy's like, "What is that, mahogany?"
Is that mistletoe from last year?
No.
I gotta get that down.
Yeah.
Can you
well.
change the bulb?
Yeah,
Sandy,
while you're up there, please.
just
Now
totally
that-
unfazed.
You completely got me there. That would be. Could you change the bulb? I can't get up there, even with my step stool. That's funny. So, what do we got in comments? Because everybody's getting tired, I see.
Wait
I
a minute.
see.
Wait a minute.
Well, it's
Quick
a late
round
show.
table.
It's late. For
Favorite
me.
exorcist? I won't keep you.
Oh, we got a
Favorite?
Sandy. Yeah, favorite exorcist. Are you settled on 3? For,
I like the first one. That was. I mean, that
The
was my
first one's
favorite one.
favorite. Yeah,
I mean, that.
Oh,
and that,
that's a
of course,
surprise.
I've seen that one the most.
I saw it in the theater.
Oh, that's
Not
got to have the
originally.
special. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's
I-
good. Big screen.
I gotta say, I realize it's a change of pace, but in terms of movies, I sit down and enjoy watching 2. I
really?
love watching Darth Vader battle Pazuzu doing
James
that
Earl
thing.
Jones. Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yeah, it
guys
is-
and your
it-
action flicks.
I feel like it was dated,
It's a horror movie.
but it would like
I
if they
know.
did it again, they could really do it right. I feel like the story was there. I thought
So a
Domino
remake.
was a good effort, but they had like 3 versions of it. Remember that? The 4th Exorcist?
Yeah,
Domino?
yeah.
That was
I
weird.
never saw it, but I did hear about that. The fact
now-
that there was
They're bringing it back. My understanding, there was like a few seasons of a show, 2-3 seasons of a show.
I would watch
Um,
an Exorcist show.
It was good. I only saw the first season, but I was like, this is okay. Like, I like it. And it ties into the movie. So it's not like all new. They just called it Exorcist and it's something totally different. So
I have a game. You've just inspired it. Because I haven't seen that. I haven't even heard about that. And
Okay.
it
Check
just
it out.
hit me that Matt Strackbine is the master of cool stuff none of us have heard of yet. Because you make it, so we don't know, and you do. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer
Surely.
a challenge to the 3 of us.
All right.
Name a movie that is fantastic, and we should watch it, that you are positive the other 2 have not seen. And if one of us has seen it, you
Okay.
lose your point.
okay, Inherent Vice.
I haven't seen it. All right, give me the elevator pitch for it. What is it?
Hippie detective at the end of the hippie era.
Ooh.
Trying to find his ex-girlfriend's missing, what do you call a male mistress?
Paramour.
The wealthy guy she was having an affair with is missing, and she hires her ex-boyfriend detective to go find him. It's Joaquin Phoenix, and it's a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Eli Gould.
It's based on the Thomas Pynchon novel, it's a fair adaptation. It's really good. I loved it.
What's it called again?
Inherent Vice.
Okay.
I will watch that. I really want to see that.
It's fantastic.
All right, Sandy, what's yours? And did you see Inherent Vice?
No. Some like it hot.
Oh, come on.
Seen that? Come on.
I've seen it like a 30 times.
I don't know. I was trying to pull in something.
It's a good one, though.
Oh my God.
It's a good one.
That's a mulligan. You got to take another whack at it. Some like it hot. Jack Lemmon, come on.
Yeah.
It is going back.
All right.
I mean, all right. It wasn't a ridiculous try, but you got to underestimating us. Now she knows.
Right. Can we go around now and not have me? Oh my goodness. What am I thinking of?
All right. Fair enough. I'll toss mine out. We'll see if we can get
everything you've seen. 2001 Space Odyssey. That's my next. But you've seen it.
All right. Fair enough.
Of course.
Lady, I lived it.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
All right, I'll toss mine out then. Bubba Hotep.
Oh yeah, seen it.
Dang it.
Yeah, that's
No, you're
all
talking
right,
indie movies.
Who's the author? Joe. I mean, I read the book.
I didn't know there was a book.
I think he wrote the screenplay first, but
comic. You mean? Yeah.
No book.
It wasn't what do you call it? Oh well. Anyway, I did not know its origin. Hit me. Wait, Sandy, while you're looking it up, let me explain to you and the audience who may not know what we're talking about what it is.
Yeah, you talk.
Bubba Hotep is a movie
I'm not looking
about.
That up.
Okay,
I'm listening to you.
That's the format. So, Bubba Hotep is a movie about Elvis in a retirement home. He faked his death, or he had a double that was standing in for him, and that double died, and nobody believed he was Elvis. Hence, they think he's a crazy guy at a retirement home, and of course, a mummy shows up, and he's got to fight it. Great movie, Bubba Hotep.
I love that the mummy was on like a museum tour and it fell off a train.
Yes.
Like on its way to the next museum. Like they're taking it to different museums. That was such a point of realism. But Joe R. Lansdale.
The exact same setup as a softcore pornography that I have seen. But still.
You know Lansdale at all?
No, not at all.
He's a good like modern day pulp writer.
Ooh, I love that kind of stuff. Like Mickey Spillane, the Mike Hammer novels. Pulp is the best. Sandy, I hope you found yours.
Well, yeah, it was a kung fu movie, but it's in here.
Oh,
and I did. Yeah, here it is from 1967. The One-Armed Swordsman.
Of course. Wait, swordsman, not boxer?
No, One-Armed Swordsman. This one. I dated this guy for a while, and this is all we wanted to do. He wanted to do. So I watched all the kung fu movies because he was a kung fu
Black belt
trainer. Oh yeah, he trained me. I was in great shape.
So
but there's
first
a
of all,
bunch
that's
of them.
Freaking amazing.
I
Second
think
of all, I want to see.
Yeah, the kung fu
I
movies.
can't say for sure if I've seen it, so I'll say I have not seen
All
it.
right, there one.
But I feel
I had
like
to look it up to remember the name.
There's so many that I watched, but
good.
Yeah, that's good.
That was fantastic, Sandy. All right, I think we have all. Wait, no, everybody but me gets a point. Damn it.
Well, you have to go again, right?
All right.
So I don't have to say.
I think I just
the
lose.
Sound of Music.
Bubba Hotep was a novella from from 1994. So
Kung
that's
Fu
what the
Hustle.
movie was based off.
My chat's funny. Kung
had
Fu
no idea.
Hustle. No, that
Well,
wasn't
everybody's seen Kung Fu.
Love that.
Hustle.
And that wasn't
was
it. No, this
fantastic.
was a real movie with like real kung fu.
I got
moves
another
and,
one.
You know, all the
Ooh,
things.
hit me.
I bet I can do another one.
Not now.
Okay.
Before I disappear. Guy is on the verge of taking his own life when he gets a phone call from his sister that he needs to go pick up his niece, this little girl, from school.
Ooh.
So he puts his demise on hold
Yeah.
and ends up spending the entire night taking care of his sister in Brooklyn, or his sister's daughter in Brooklyn. And it becomes like
That's
this
good.
whole thing where they're like out. They're out. There's stuff going on. They're out. So there's subplots and stuff. But it's written by a musician who did like a short movie of it, and it won an Oscar. So then he it won or it was nominated. So then he was allowed to make the whole movie, and it's fantastic. It's really good. Ron Perlman's in it. Plays a club owner. Yeah, it's fantastic movie. Before I
Good ol'
Disappear.
Ron.
Great soundtrack. Anyway, that's two.
All right,
I got
guys.
two.
Yeah, you did.
You know, I can't remember the name of the one I was thinking of.
Can I go for three?
Darn it. Go for 3.
This, you may have seen this. Miller's Crossing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think
Okay.
I've seen that.
Okay.
That
All
sounds
right.
like
I
a
was just trying to
familiar
give you
one.
guys softball.
It does. I'm getting all kinds of fidgety. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay. This was great.
It was great.
I miss Andrea.
Is that my cue to talk
we
about
got to get
being a fidget?
the 4 of us on here next week. I hope it works
Well,
out.
do your super chat thing, and I'm looking at people because I brought up kung fu, and now everybody's talking about it. And somebody said I'd like to see a vid of me. I went to the gym and I took this thing for years, but it was more like a dance class. It was called
Kata, right?
no,
The
it was dancing but using kung fu moves.
Oh, capoeira.
It
Oh, I
was a
thought that was
Les-
just called disco.
It was no, this was a Les Mills. It was really good for years.
okay.
Gold's Gym.
So Soul Life gifted
Very nice.
a membership, which I always appreciate. Vince Morales, member for 1 month. Soul Life, member
Dude.
for 3 months. Now, if you're a member for 3 months, you get the Sam Cedar as a Simpsons character loyalty badge. It's
Hey,
cool,
I got
right?
a question.
Yeah.
How do you make? Somebody asked me if they became a member of the channel, can she get a cloud as an avatar? So what do I got to set up avatars?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a way on YouTube
Yeah,
where
we
you
can
do
show
that.
for sure.
Yeah, that's easy. Well, I mean, I
Okay.
wouldn't say easy, but it's doable for sure. I mean,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
If you don't mind a blocky art style, I'll make you one. But it'll actually, I just realized they'll be like, this is just a white square in Jake's art
I'll
style.
figure it out. I'll
That's
figure it out.
cubism.
Yeah.
Wanda MV, member for 3 months. She says, I love the show. Yeah, me too, but thank you. And my dogs are goth, $10 Canadian. That counts. And they say, I tried sending this when Lance was on, but it bounced back to me. Thank you for all you do for us. You know, thank
That's
you for all
cool.
you do for us.
Thank
See
you
you
so
in
much. My
multiple
dogs are
chats.
goth.
That's
And then
awesome.
Soul
That's
Life
super cool of you,
gifted
man.
5 memberships. Soul Life is a membership gifter. Gotta love that. Okay, and then this is to Sandy from Pendulous Dragon.
Really?
$4.99. Sandy,
Thank
I'd
you.
love to buy you a cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh, he's so sweet. I hope he's feeling better now.
Same.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
Jake and I both said that like
Yeah. He's
it's a
nice.
tough one.
Thank you.
One time my brother endured that. Kidney stones. And
My
I-
daughter had him.
I was joking with him about it afterwards, and he was like, "You can say it one time. This is not funny." And I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Hey,
He's
I
like,
gotta
"I'm
give
not.
a
I'll
shout
hang
out.
up if you keep joking." And I was like, "Oh, I won't. Sorry."
Like, I appreciate what you're trying to do. Let's not.
Yeah.
What's the shout out?
Trev B5. Live now, LOL.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not in the greenhouse. I'm not planting. I'm not cleaning. I'm talking with my buddies here.
Awesome.
I got to do a quick shout out, even though it won't show
All
up
right.
in the super chats. Christy Z just got a membership yesterday to the channel.
Yay.
Thank you,
Nice.
Christy.
Somebody gifted me one to your channel. I'm a member.
How sweet.
Well, fancy
good.
Dan.
Ow, Bob Carmody had kidney stones twice. Ow. I've never
twice.
had them. My daughter had them. It was terrible. Poor kid.
You know
Ow.
that stuff airborne? Like those tablets you take
that
to
you're
like
supposed
ward
to take
off
when you're
sickness?
flying. Yeah.
If you
Okay.
take too many of those, kidney stones.
Oh, wow. You got to be careful with everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I am, pretty much.
I got a wild one for you. What is, and I won't go into detail with my answer. I'll just leave it on the table. What is the worst physical pain from a medical thing, let's say, that you've ever felt?
Oh, a lot.
You gotta you just gotta name one, or yeah. What would you
In
put as your
my-
contender?
You know that story I read, Voodoo Sleep?
Yes.
You know how
Yeah.
the guy had
Yeah.
a branch fall on his head and he cut his
Oh.
eye by blinking?
Ah,
That happened to
ow.
me for real. That's where I got
That-
the idea for that. It really happened. And so
Really?
I woke up, I was knocked out, and I woke up in my yard. It must have been 5 or 10 minutes I was out.
Oh,
And I
no.
tried to open my eye and I was like, it was the
Oh,
worst.
man, it hurts me
pain
to,
of all.
to listen.
So what they do is they numb it and then they put like a neon orange dye on the cut so that you can look at your eye in the mirror, like in the dark, and it glows. So I could see where the cut was on my eye.
Mm.
It was
Oh,
brutal.
God.
Yeah, it was wild.
And
So,
we end with pain.
so I had to-
Pain.
so what I did was they said, if you can just lay still and not move and not open your eye for 24 hours, it'll heal. So I just laid in bed, like, not
It
moving.
worked?
My wife was like, do you need anything? And I was like, no.
An eye patch, Captain Hook.
I don't need anything. Yeah, it was
I
great.
need you not to move me for 24 hours, please.
Piece
Thank
of
you.
tape.
Made for kind of a neat part of the book.
Yeah, it was a
that really
squick out
happened.
part for me. Like when you described that, I was like, oh.
Ouch.
But I was, enjoying feeling like that. I was ready for
But
that in the
It's
story.
real. You can blink so hard that you scratch your eye. Isn't that nuts?
Oh, that's insane.
And like when
That's
it hit me, I was like, and I was mowing the lawn at the time, so that was all right.
Well, we don't have long enough to go through my medical maladies, so we won't.
fair enough. Let's get another super chat then.
That's it.
For
We're done.
interest, oh, that's it for the. All right, fair enough.
we're
I'm
done.
so used to Matt Binder taking like an hour. My God.
Yeah, but we're
Jeez.
not them. Not
Yeah,
yet.
no, we're prettier though. We're not as
prettier.
popular, but we are certainly.
We are popular with our viewers, and I
Yeah.
am very
Oh, yeah.
happy to everybody here. Bongo Dave, who his was open heart surgery, so if I had I would make that noise. And Trev and public utility and linear spiral dysfunction. All of you, thank you so much.
It sounds like an injury.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank
I
you,
had,
everybody.
I had a cement block dropped on my head one time from a tree fort.
Matt, you bring
And
that
like
up
a-
now?
a
That
cinder
would kill
block
you. That would kill you. How did you?
Ow.
broke right in half.
Nonsense.
It looked.
I call shenanigans.
Yeah, it's real.
That's pretty wild.
Did you
I
get
mean,
a
I'm
concussion? How old were
saying
you?
it on air. I was like 10.
Jesus.
Oh,
That's why.
When my
explains
mom-
a lot.
Jake, it
Yeah.
explains everything.
When my mom came outside, it looked gruesome. And she was like, what happened? Because, you could just imagine like what I look like, but it didn't hurt that bad.
Oh,
I had to get
nightmare fuel.
stitches, like 10 stitches.
Well, I look forward to next week hanging out
Yeah.
with Sandy, Andrea, and what's left of Matt.
Andrea should be back.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
I love hanging out with you guys. It's so much fun. I'm
Yeah.
glad we're doing
Chill
this.
stream.
Takes me away
I
from
love it.
the doomosphere. I'm happy for a night and Everybody on my,
That's
I'll
smart.
throw this out. I won't be on Friday. Don't forget. Sunday with Carolyn Baker. I don't know the time yet. Dr. Carolyn Baker for all the emotional support you need. She'll be there with us, me and Jed.
What do you got, Jake? What do you got coming up?
What you can do tomorrow at 9. It's it's today Thursday? No, it's Wednesday. So just tomorrow at 9. A normal
there.
show.
Yes. All
Oh,
right.
delighted.
Okay.
Next week, I got a call-in show, and then Dr. Rashad Ritchie is rescheduled for
All right.
Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Good.
Oh, you know what? I'll do a
Great.
proper plug. I'll tell you what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to read a conversation I had with Wicked Foxy Dragon. She changed my mind on something, and I think it'll
Oh.
be useful for people to listen to Foxy as an example. That's how she
Great.
chose to spend her birthday. Was busting my balls over
Okay.
a wrong political opinion I had, and yeah, so I look forward to that.
So you had a debate.
Yeah, and she won.
That's funny. Well, everybody, thank you. Guys, love you.
See ya.
Peace out.